Oh, what is that thing? Oh, ugh.
Hold for 10 seconds, 10, not 11, 10, not 9.
Okay, so das hier viel mehr so bedingt to the giants.
Stop thinking and your problems. The more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you will be. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds, 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Let it go, let it go, let it Stop thinking on your problems. The more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you will be. Take a deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds, 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, let it go, let it go. and your problems. The more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you will be. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds, 10, 9, 11, 10, 9, 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, let it go, let it go, 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 go. Do, 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 go, 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 do, 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 go, go. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds, 10, 9, 11, 10, 9, 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, let it go, let it go, 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 go. Do, 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 go, 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 do, 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 go, go. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds, 10, 9, 11, 10, 9, 9. Hold, 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 hold. Let it go, let it go, let it go, 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 go. Do, 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 go, 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 do, 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 go, go. Take the deepest breath of the day.
No. Tainted with the very poison of which nature would purge us, or uprooted and calcined, before any serious progress can be made in the royal and sacred art. And so also any aspiration of impartial order, any which depends for its wisdom on the justice of our perceptions, of our own needs, is almost certain to be tainted with the very poison of which nature would purge us. There is in fact only one magical operation of whose propriety we may always be sure.
Hasn't come to see my husband in 10 years. And the fact that she even talks to him on the phone periodically, that is just wonderful. I got a text message from the girl, and I just, you know what I want to do? I want to get a will, and my will is going to be, if you haven't talked to your dad or come to see your dad before he dies, you're out of the fucking will.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that?
I think you should say that.
Well, it's how I feel. It's like, I don't really owe you a motherfucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to put you in my will because I love him and he loves you. But if you don't be good to your daddy, fuck you. Okay, did I say all that? Yes, I did.
You did.
Only I can't really say that to my husband. But it's just really the way I feel. And we've got to go and get a will done and get all this taken care of. But she is pissing me off so bad. It's just like, I just want to go fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be mean to my husband.
No way.
Okay, anyway. And I saw my son at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And we did okay. But I doubt he's probably still not speaking to me. Like, he's not going to answer the phone when I call. But we got along at Christmas.
Good.
You know? Yeah. Okay, have I told you why this kid is mad at me? It is so ridiculous.
I don't remember.
He's mad at me because they're not going to have the gay parade in Arlington, Texas.
Well, it's not your fault.
There you go, Leslie.
I don't think you, unless you were in the city council or something I don't know about.
It's not the city council.
Or whoever.
Get this. Okay, so Texas decides that they're going to vote that all the streets have to be conform. There's going to be conformity in all the signs and things on the street. So they decide that they're going to do away with all the gay crosswalks, right? All the rainbow. So Texas doesn't. Arlington doesn't have rainbow crosswalks because they're not going to get. They were going to lose money from the state if they didn't conform and get rid of the sidewalks. Mm-hmm. So whatever organization pays for the gay parades said, well, y'all are mean. We're not going to have a parade in Arlington. Well, you know what, Leslie? You know why they really decided they're not going to have a parade? I bet you anything. It was being paid for by some government agency. They were probably getting some of that. They were probably getting some of that damn Doge money.
That could be.
And then now they're not going to get their Doge money, which really they were paying their house payments with too. Mm-hmm. So it's got nothing to do with anything. Then they lost their graph.
So you think it's like some kind of like flipped narrative of like,
I do.
Hey, we were funded, but now we're not. But let's say that they took it away from us.
There we go.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, you know, I'm friends with Brand. I haven't talked to him in a few days, but it's like he says, these kids do not understand what we did to go out and get these rights. They weren't getting money when gay people started doing these parades and doing all these marches. They weren't doing that because they were being funded. They were doing it to try to get to be recognized and to get their rights. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't something that the government was financing, Leslie.
Yeah, I'm following you. I'm tracking.
I'm just like, okay. And so at first I was real hysterical. Oh, I'll tell him, well, why don't we get a GoFundMe? Why don't we, we could put together the parade. And then I'm thinking, I don't give a shit about the parade.
Like, it's just affecting me right now.
I don't know, it affect me. If I was going to do some GoFundMe, like the day he came out to me and my husband, he started to stick his hand through a window, and my husband wrapped his arms around him and said, we don't care, Adam. We don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And wrapped his arms around him to keep him from putting his arm through the window. If I want to raise funds, how about I raise funds for kids whose parents push them through the window when they come out? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You think you're mistreated? Bite me. Nobody pushed you through a window.
Mm-hmm.
I went to his wedding. I walked him down the aisle. What do these people want from me, Leslie? My last quart of blood?
Sounds like he might have some issues to work out.
Sounds like it.
You can't concern yourself with it, honestly.
Well, I can't. You can't do other people's psych work.
No. You can't.
It's like some kind of thing they gotta work out, and I can't work it out for them. I had perfect parents. I could find fault with them. I could tell you what my parents didn't do right, and they were perfect. And I'm not perfect, so I'm a pretty damn easy target. Okay, I'm doing a lot of bitching right now, Leslie.
Well, it's all right. It's late.
Anyway.
You're allowed.
It's all the new year.
Green Living, how are you up there, honey?
Oh, I'm doing better than I was before, so thank God. I had the flu like everybody else up in New York.
Well, they had it down here in Arkansas, and thank God I haven't gotten it. And I work in the public. It's like, ugh. Sean, did you show up? Come on up, Sean.
How you doing, Les? Good? Liz.
Yeah, I'm just like tired. How about you? You feeling a little better?
Yeah, well, I'm breathing, whatever. Yeah, that's a good thing.
So when do you think you're gonna be able to smoke again?
Like a week. You know, I might lean in on these.
Oh, you can take edibles.
These edibles.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about that. Hey, Norm, welcome back.
What up, Sean?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Sean, what's
Hey,
up?
Sean.
Nice to hear your voices.
Oh man, I looked so quick. I thought Norm was Sean. Sean was Norm. My bad. Hey, Sean.
Okay.
Everything all right?
Everything's
Oh,
really
yeah.
all right, but I've been bitching a little bit, but actually everything's okay. My husband's in watching the football game. I came in here just to say hello. I got to duck back out and pay attention to the man. Anyway, and I want to bitch, and I can't. I don't want to bitch to him. So y'all got to get a little piece of my whiny self. I'm sorry. I'll be good tomorrow.
Shirley, every time you say something along those lines, it always makes me think, because, I had a failed marriage after 25 years. But, what is it what's the key? What is the magic spark? How do you make life so unbelievably extraordinary every fucking day so that your spouse feels like, it can't get any better?
Are you asking me this question like this is something that I'm doing, or is this something, some secret to the universe we're supposed to figure out, Sean?
Yes and yes. How does that sound?
I don't know. I think you really have to appreciate people. I've made this observation. I'll share it with you, Sean. I've had, how you've had that friend. Well, I'll get closer to that. My mother-in-law. My kids had a teacher who bitched about her husband every fucking day. My mother-in-law bitched about her husband every fucking day. And then they die. And then it's like, oh, I miss him so bad. We need to appreciate people.
I think there are some conflicting feelings there.
Well, it's like it's easy to figure out what people do wrong. So we have to focus on what they do right and be grateful and have gratitude. And that's the key right there to everything.
I've been sitting here whining. Deal with that.
Yeah, you have to have gratitude. And as I say that, I've been in here bitching. But anyway, I do feel very grateful for this man. He is, it's like he was sent to me specifically to work things out. I don't have enough sense to pick out a man, so God had to send me one right on the treadmill next to me. Anyway, it's a story. Sean,
So, yes.
I guess this is what we need to figure out this year, how to do that. That should probably be the focus of the year, Sean.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, because how we engage with others, how we demonstrate ourselves is not necessarily purified, going through a filter kind of thing, but, we kind of trick each other. And I think I don't like falsehoods. I do not appreciate lying. And, let's say that you have engaged in a relationship and you have found that the individual has been lying. Lying about their age, about their preference of liver over roast beef. I don't know. You make up the story as you wish. But if they're lying, isn't that a problem?
Sean, have you got somebody lying to you, hun?
Well, I just think it's about 3 hours to New Year's. I'm just gonna put it that way.
Sean, are you sick? Or just got something hung in your throat?
Oh,
No,
me?
No, Seth caught me off guard.
Oh. Yeah, I caught him off guard. That's all. That's all. Yeah, I was just joking around.
I'm dandy, thank you.
It's all good, Chip. It's all good. Happy New Year, brother.
Mazel tov.
Well,
So I wanted to bring this point up because you kind of sort of, all of you guys kind of sort of know me, is that I feel like lying is not only lying to the individual that you're lying to, but it's also lying to yourself. And I would actually create a sentence around that. Lying is self-sabotage. And surely, to answer your question, no, I don't think that there's anyone that is specifically lying to me right now. But, you know, I'm not sure that I actually understand the world we live in, because lying seems to be more prevalent than not lying.
well,
That makes sense to me.
yes. Everybody wants to put it. I don't know. Is it lying like when you only put the sparkly pictures on Facebook, or is it just more more serious, Sean?
Well, I mean, you could go from makeup, because I think makeup is a lie. You know, we should all be ourselves, to something much more demonstrative. I'm looking for a word here. Much more dangerous. You could lie about something. So let me give you an example. If I had a brother, which I don't have anymore, and he committed a crime, would I lie for him? Would I lie to keep him out of prison? I don't know. It depends on the act. But yeah, I would probably lie. So where are the consequences? What is the pendulum that's going to come back and hit us in the head?
Well, to your point, if you put your, I'm just cutting up with you. You're being serious and I'm cutting up. If you put your picture online and you look like you're 50 when you're 60, that's always going to bite you in the ass, because you're going to show up at the restaurant and you're going to be 60 instead of 50. So it's, and in that picture right there, I'm not 50, but I'm younger than I am in the photograph that I've got there. But I'm not trying to catch anybody. I'm not using that picture to try to date. Oh, I don't know. Everybody wants to put their best foot forward, and they want things to seem better than they are. I don't know. It kind of depends. I don't lie. It's not one of my personal faults. I don't put makeup under the category of lying. I've been wearing makeup since I was in the 4th grade, when my mother handed me the mascara and said, "Shirley, this will help." It's a Southern thing. We wear makeup. But I read in a book that men, when they look in the mirror, they don't see that they're old. And if their wife is cute, they think they're cute. So my whole deal with trying to be cute is it makes my husband feel better about himself and the world around him. Anyway, but sure, I don't lie. And lying is not a good idea. And I can see how if you've got somebody who's been dishonest with you, that you might be put out. Feel a little put out. Okay, I gotta go. I don't have any great wisdom to impart. I've been bitching, which is the opposite of wisdom. I'm gonna try to be more wise this year and do less bitching. Y'all have a good new year. And I'm not gonna make it till 12. I'm hoping I'll be asleep in an hour. Love y'all. I'll see you later.
Take care. She's gone. Troy didn't even hear what I said. How many of you are still listening?
Fuck, I just woke up. Ooh. Where do you have? I go up, tell us already. Bet you never. He was a very happy, popular child who didn't suffer from mental health issues. But again, it does not say, what's up, Sonia? What an eye, welcome. It does not say, again, the specifics about how he choked himself. This article once again says that they did a search on his phone and found a video about surviving choking alone. And the reason why I said what's wrong with y'all's kids is, again, speaking y'all in general, because this young generation, these youngsters, I mean, we've been hearing about it for the past couple of years, right? All these weird social media trends that the young folks try to emulate, and oftentimes they have resulted in death. Ella, I'm so glad we didn't have social media when we were this age, right? Well, I think we were in college when we got internet. Okay? We were in college when we got internet, all right? Because I remember being a freshman in college, and when we got internet, I remember I'll never forget this. I was so fascinated with the concept of the internet. I spent all day, I missed classes. I have a vivid memory of this. I missed classes that day and searched every topic that I could think of. I was on the internet looking it up, specifically Caesar salad. And so, yeah, we didn't have social media trends and near-death trends to play around with, and I don't think our generation would have even fucked around with near-death trends. We like to party. We like to be alive. We like to be we wanted new and intriguing ways to intake our drugs. That's what we wanted. We wanted drugs and alcohol. We wanted mind-bending experiences. We wanted to step outside of ourselves and step inside of ourselves again. We wanted to find ways to become vampires. Like, that's the kind of stuff we were on.
I don't know how. I say it all the time. I really don't know if I could have survived a childhood with social media, just because beyond all the things that I'm interested in, the level of bullying is on a whole different. It's in a whole different space, and the level of not being protected, the vulnerability of social media, depending on where you are mentally, it is immense. And so, yeah, no, I'm glad we didn't have it. I don't know how I would have survived it, but I will say this too: when social media came around and the internet and all that kind of good stuff, it was very underwhelming. If it had come along with the degree at the degree it is right now, no way, absolutely no way. If it had come along as if it had come along in a way that it is right now, during the way that it was then maybe. But right now, the level of advancement and the level of interconnectedness, no, definitely could not have survived it. Hey, what up, though, fam? Hey, Happy New Year's, cheer.
Happy New Year's, babes.
What up, though? Another year we have survived. Bell. Number one, AOL was so slow, so you was waiting all day. But if these kids, back when we was growing up, they had wrote some of the stuff on that, we would go whoop their tails. Because we have relationships. So somebody said something, we gonna find you. You're right. The village would have stepped in. The village would have stepped in.
Well, it is the end of the year. Oh, Sonia, go ahead.
I was done. I just want to say you're right. I think it was totally different. I was so fascinated by it too. AOL. First of all, a lot of us couldn't afford it. I think it was $14.95. And you had landlines, and you only had one line in your house, and it dominated the phone. Nobody could call. So I get it. I get it. But yeah, these kids are different, man. They are so, I don't even know how the concept of, I've been trying to figure it out because I got a couple of grandkids, and I'm like, y'all think totally different. I don't even understand how y'all even function in this life. So anyway, I just wanted to holler and jump in, and I just have one question, Nye. How long did y'all stay on 2 weeks ago? I couldn't hang with y'all no longer. I tried.
Girl, I don't remember, but I think we were on till at least 2 a.m.
Yeah. 4 in the morning. 4 a.m. is when these idiots got off this motherfucker, okay? Fucking 4 a.m., so you know that. And I'm including myself in the idiocy because I was there. So, just so y'all know, I'm not calling anybody a name, but I'm not calling myself.
Yes. Hi is down there. What's up, Hi? Happy New Year. Listen, I want to ask everybody on the stage, because it is the end of the month. I mean, the end of the year. There's been a lot of celebrity news, pop culture news, political news, entertainment news. I couldn't even decide what was the biggest pop culture or political or celebrity news story, because there's so many. But if I had to pick, in my opinion, the biggest, most jaw-dropping moment of 2025, for me, it would have to be Charlie Kirk's assassination, public assassination. That would be number one on my list. I didn't even bother to make a top 10 or top 5. We can go through some of them because I Googled some of the top stories this year. We had Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl. Everybody was so excited about Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl because he called Drake a pedophile in front of hundreds of millions of people that watched the Super Bowl. I, of course, am one of the few people who I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan, and that's no disrespect to his talent. They're Not Like Us is one of those tracks, if I never hear it again, it'll be a great day. I don't think it's a great... it's one of those songs where, okay, it's cool, but it's not the best song. It's even in the world of hip hop. Wouldn't even be in my top 100 best hip hop songs. What else was a good viral moment
it this year. I mean, I guess the P. Diddy going down, although the trial was a big dud. Kim Kardashian admitting that she's some sort of low intellect being. She did an episode of her show that revealed, a brain scan showed she has holes and low activity in her frontal lobe linked from stress from studying her bar exam. I think another highlight this year is Cardi B and Offset. Of course, here's what's interesting. Cardi B finally left Offset, so they're estranged. They're not divorced. She finally left him after years of infidelity, him cheating on her, only to get pregnant by a bisexual football player who we've discovered has multiple children on the way this year, or at least 2 other women gave birth to a child right around the time Cardi B gave birth. And then this week we find out that he's being sued by his former female chef, who she claims he beat her ass and choked her out when she confronted him about money he owed her. She claims in her lawsuit that his girlfriend, everybody's assuming that it's Cardi B because she didn't name any names in the lawsuit, or if she did, the media has not reported the name of the girlfriend, so everybody's assuming that it's Cardi B. She said that after she went to the police and filed the lawsuit, or I think after she went to the police, ahead of the lawsuit, the girlfriend texted her and said, it's not that serious. Drop it. Get over it. And then, of course, he's also being sued by a guy who claims Stefan gave him some sort of STD. Cardi B left her cheating husband to go get pregnant by a cheating football player who also sucks dick and beats bitches up. Not that I'm calling the chef a bitch, but I like to use colorful language here in Price Hollywood. Cardi B sure can pick them. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my opinion and my conclusion that Cardi B is the face of low self-esteem women. She's the type of bird that needs to be surrounded by her money and men, and not even quality men, to feel good about herself. So ladies, those are some of my... Yeah, go ahead.
No, didn't she come from the club? So she's kind of used to those kind of cats?
Oh, absolutely. Remember, she even sent some girls to go. She even sent her gang members to go beat up a girl at a bar who was fucking Offset. So she's a bird brain. So those are just some of the top stories that I can think of. In addition to celebrity deaths we had this year, Ozzy died this year. Most recently, who was it? Rob Reiner died this year. Just this week, who was the black actor that died this week? Oh my God. Let me get his name. Everybody knows him. Black.
Oh, from The Wire.
Yes, thank you. The Wire actor died. I'm typing it in here. Yes. Isaiah, who is that? Michael, thank you. Isaiah Whitlock Jr. passed away this week. Yes. So what about the rest of you beautiful people on the stage or even in the audience? You could drop it in the chat. What do you think were some of the biggest celebrity stories or political stories this year that really, had you clutching your pearls?
Well, I'll tell you what had me clutching my pearls when Candy O decided that she was going to let the world know that Macron was married to his daddy, father, son, husband thing. Like, what?
Yes, that's right. Yes. What was it called? Becoming Brigitte. The Candace Owens expose on Brigitte Macron.
When she straight pulled a Chinatown on us. He's my father, my son, my daddy, my uncle. He's an alien from another planet, but he's a man. He has a dick. What, Candy?
I was a bit intrigued by the Nicki Minaj chronicles. What I've been hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Was that Nicki Minaj is an illegal immigrant and she married her husband to keep status in the United States? Is this true?
Do tell. Say what?
Certainty. I hadn't heard about that. Now, I knew about Okay, so I said that I was going to go easy on the leftists tonight, but the leftists all week. We cannot end 2025 without me highlighting the hypocrisy coming out of the left. The left has been hooping and hollering all year about being pro-immigration, save the immigrants, save the illegals, protect them, they belong here, give us free. But they have a petition, launched a petition earlier this month that has, last I heard, either 300,000 or 700,000 signatures. They want Nicki Minaj deported because she attended that Turning Point USA event. For those who don't know, Turning Point USA is the organization that Charlie Kirk launched many years ago, where he was touring college campuses, speaking to the youth about politics and trying to get the youth to wake up from their leftist indoctrination on college campuses and beyond. His widow, Erica Kirk, has taken over the mantle, so they hosted an event a couple weeks ago. Nikki was there, and she praised Trump, and she praised Vance, and the transgenders are mad, and the gays are mad because she said boys can be boys, or boys, nothing wrong with boys being boys. She said nothing about the gay community, no attack on the gay community, no attack on the trans community. She spoke highly about women, valuing women, and saying it's okay, just, you know, and I'm paraphrasing here. She's like, just because I tell young black girls you're beautiful and it's okay to stand in your beauty and live your truth, she's like, doesn't mean I'm telling white girls that they can't do the same. She said, basically, all women are beautiful. All women deserve love and to be told they're, you know, worthy. And then she said, it's okay to tell boys it's okay to be boys. Well, everybody's mad. The gays got mad. And then just the fact that she was there at a conservative event, they've launched a petition. They want her deported. Change.org. Nikki is unfazed. She's unbothered. Thank you, Nikki. There's no need to be. I did not know. I knew that she is from, well, we did know she was Trinidadian. Elle, my beautiful English teacher expert. Am I saying it right, boo? Twin, Trinidadian. I think I got it, boo. Trinidadian. Yes, Trinidadian. Thank you. But speaking of, just to do a quick switch up here. We can come back to Nikki in a minute. Babies. The most fascinating story to come out of Clubhouse this week. Not Clubhouse, X this week. What's up, Time? What's up? Oh, I see some new people down there. Chancey's down there. Time's down there. Did you guys hear the story? Let me open up my bookmarks. Because when I said this, my first thought was, boy, oh boy, Africans are different. Africans are different. Let me tell you why. Did y'all hear about Ibu Noah? No? Oh, well, let me tell you about Ibu Noah. You'll love this one. Child, when I tell you, Evo Noah or Ibu Noah, however we're pronouncing his name, he came down my radar this week because this brother is a self-proclaimed prophet from Ghana. He sparked mass panic this month by declaring that biblical floods were coming on Christmas Day. Now, I don't know when he started to announce his so-called prophecies, his premonitions. Because when this story started coming down my timeline, okay, I started doing some research on Noah. And the folk were saying that Noah is a content creator. He has, for a while now, I don't know how long, he's from Ghana, content creator, and he's always been trying to kind of find his niche, right? Doing goofy things on camera to go viral. Well, one day he got it in his mind to go viral, to create content telling his audience that God gave him a vision that biblical floods were coming on Christmas Day, and that God told him to build, I think it's 6 or 9 country somebody came from, they ended up crying. But let me get to it. Hold on. I got to think of the country. Thousands of Africans. They have the videos of these people. They donated money. They donated money. Some people gave him all their money. They sold all their property, left their homes, sold their shacks, their apartments, packed up their bags, their kids, their families, and made the journey to Noah and his arks because they wanted a place on his ark. And he had a little cameraman following him around in the weeks, or I'm guessing months. I guess it took him a hot minute to build these arks. Following him throughout this journey of building the arks, telling the people that the floods are coming. And the people came. And then Christmas Day came, bitch. And there was no rain, no flood. He got on the camera and said God answered his prayers and postponed the flood. Okay? All these people are stranded. There's video of people crying because they have nowhere to go now. And guess what?
Wait a minute.
Wait, you might want to reserve your questions because there's more.
Okay,
just hold on.
Okay.
Wait, let me give you all of it because you're going to have questions, okay? Because, baby, it doesn't end there, okay? So, Apple Noah collects all the people's money. And in truth, let me tell you something. As I'm following this story, as I said, my first thought was these Africans believed him. Boy, the African is different. They love Jesus, but they failed to miss the part where Jesus promised Noah, I will never flood earth again. How y'all miss that part? How you fall for the flood trick?
Well, no, you didn't know they don't read the Bible?
Girl, they don't, but it gets better.
A lot of people
don't. A lot of people don't, but it gets better. I said these Africans are different, but as they continue to follow the cameraman and Noah, continue to share their content on social media, I said, you know what? It does not matter where a nigga lives because nigga behavior is all the same. Because this nigga took the money and guess what he did with the money, Em? He bought some gym shoes and a car and then went to a concert and started rapping on stage, bitch. And made a video and told the people to come to the rap concert, girl, and have a party. I said niggas are the same. It don't matter if they're in America or in a hut in Africa.
I didn't know. I didn't know he did a concert. Oh my god.
Child, he did a whole hip hop show and bought some sneakers, some nigga sneakers, and a nigga mobile.
Wait, okay, so you do know that my first question is, where are these arcs? Because you are saying arcs.
I assume they're on the coast of Ghana. I saw that.
Girl, let me get the link. Let me find.
Yeah,
okay,
where?
let me get the link.
It's on. I think it's on the coast, but I saw people going there. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. My mom sent me the video, and we laughed about it. We also felt bad, but we laughed.
What are the dimensions of these arcs?
Wait, they're pretty.
Are they fully built out?
They're pretty massive, but they're not. Okay, here's one. No, that's not the video.
And nah, ain't no goddamn motherfucking arcs.
That's my question because I'm trying to figure out how come we can't just move these buildings and turn this into housing? And that's because they're not fully built out because they weren't even thinking about, man, that's some crazy stuff right there.
I'm posting some of the videos because I'm
trying to figure out.
We're asking logic in places where you can't apply logic. Believe me, I've been.
There's something that logically exists. It's called star forts. If you look at star and FORTS, if you look that up, that's the real arc.
Here's a link. I posted a link. I posted one link of an arc in progress, but I'm trying to find the video that shows multiple of arcs already fully constructed. The second link I just posted of the folks traveling to get their space on the ark. Allegedly, that's them. Let me see if I can find a video of the arcs. Here's one. This is more of a photo, but I do have a video saved somewhere that shows multiple arcs that have seemingly have been built. Now, the latest update is that the government has arrested him. He's been arrested for fraud and all this weird shit. For scamming the people. Look at these people. Let me show you this. Look at these people. Allegedly, these are people, according to social media. Now, here's another clip. Yes,
but see, here's the thing about an arc too. From a scientific standpoint, and this is the problem I have with the whole story with the slave trade. In order for you to survive on an ark alone, right? Just the amount of time that you would have to have been on the ark and eating and living and so forth and so on, you would have expired on the ark itself because there's not enough space to move around. You got 2 different types of every animal, so forth and so on. You don't got no space to shit and pee without it being on you. Like, it's just not possible. You know what I mean?
So I went out to they have a replica of the ark. I think it's in Kentucky, and it is massive. They have a system which they use to what should I say? Was that sir? I don't know what that is, sir. But they had a system in how they had everything, how they let the animals use what they do, and how they space the animals out. But looking at that cat, I just looked at that video. That's not an ark. If you go out there and look at that one in Kentucky, that is humongous. It is humongous, and that one he looks like a little baby ark. So, but you have to go out there and see it. It's pretty interesting how God showed him how to get rid of waste, how to feed the animals, how to do certain things. So it was pretty interesting too.
And even if it's sizable enough, you have to look at the voyage. Like, I'm from New Jersey, right? And I'm not, by the way, I'm not a Satanist or evangelist or any of those kind of things. Call me a practicalitist, okay, or whatever the fuck a common sensalist, right? But if you look at what to be, I don't care if the fucking shit was big, and the amount of space they had, it's just not even scientifically possible. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna fight. I'm just like,
child, listen. I'm speechless, to be honest with you.
I'm not surprised because these are also, unfortunately, there's a reputation. A lot of them, like, you can even look up some of the African pastors and the shit they pull to. This one guy said he brought people up from the dead, that typical nonsense, where it's not surprising. It's just disappointing and kind of sad that they kind of allowed this to kind of garner all this attention. Because it does happen in America. Just in America, they'll just scam you by taking all your fucking rent money and buying a house or paying for their side chick's rent. That's the key difference. Versus in Africa, they'll scam you, play with your money in your face, and then they'll be like, "Oh, it's okay to, God will provide." And it's like, God will provide what? They don't think that far ahead, and it's kind of just sad and disheartening to see happen time and time again where, unfortunately for Black people on Africa and in the diaspora, religion has kind of swayed them to a point where they can never really, unshackle it from themselves. And I say this is one of the key moments of where it's okay to not, always do this. It's okay. Just because God said this does not mean, to this individual, does not mean it's going to uproot your life. And that's all I got to do.
Well, from Ghana to Somalia, ladies and gentlemen. Another fascinating story out of this week is here in America. The Somali daycare scam. And you know what? I'm not even mad at these Somalians. Because they work with the Democrats, Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar and the local Democratic leaders, to rake in millions upon millions of dollars to open up daycare centers with no children. So if nobody's been following this story, Notes version. Or is it Cliff Notes? Whatever. An independent investigative journalist named Nick Shirley caught wind of the fraud over there in Minneapolis, but not exclusively in Minneapolis, where the Somali community, and they say that the Somali community in Minneapolis is the biggest Somali community outside of Somalia. So just digest that. He decided to do, when he read about the FBI, the government crackdown, where about 80 to 90 people were indicted for daycare fraud and all this fraud, accepting government funds for businesses that aren't offering the services like food, offering food to the homeless and food banks and autism centers. A lot of people have been indicted recently. He decided to do a deep dive. He posted a 40-minute clip of him going around to various child daycare centers there, and knocking on the door in Minnesota, knocking on the door of these various child daycare centers. Some are at actual centers. Some are inside these lavish multi-level homes that claim to offer child care service. And what he discovered was A, there were no children. B, none of the people there would even talk to him, or give him, brochures, or even when he was pretending as part of his investigation that he wanted to enroll his own child there, they would not respond. So his clip went viral. His clip has over like 1 million, maybe 2 million people in no time. He posted the clip, a week or so ago, and no mainstream news outlet was reporting on the Minnesota child care fraud. No one. And then when Nick Shirley's investigative reporting went viral, you had folk like Elon Musk to, influencers, conservative influencers, politicians, independent news outlets reacting to his clip, sharing his clip, spreading awareness about what he uncovered. While at the same time, they were calling out the mainstream media for not doing the work that Nick put in. And of course, you can imagine how the mainstream media reacted once they finally caught on. They started calling Nick MAGA, racist, anti-immigration. They focused on everything but the actual fraud. As a matter of fact, they're saying the fraud is a fake news, but not seemingly. To me, I believe it 100%. Outside one of the daycare centers, the Somalis didn't even spell learning right. The daycare center was called Learning Center. They had it Learing, Learning Center. And Nick called that out. Like, how are you a daycare? How are you teaching children you can't even spell? And he also noticed that the street address was spelled wrong as well, okay, on this daycare center. But it gets better. So this has been going on for weeks now. The Somalis have not, Tim Waltz, Tampon Tim, what we've been discovering is that the fraud seems to go like this. Tampon Tim, with the help of local Democratic leaders, took federal funding for these daycare centers, gave these Somali daycare centers millions of dollars. And part of the trick bag was they could use the money however they want to use it. On paper, it needs to look like you are opening up daycare centers, but you need to funnel some of that money back to the local politicians. In other words, you need to pump the millions that we give you for these centers. Do what you want with it, but when it's time for your local Democratic politicians to campaign, you need to use some of that money to put into their campaign, to support their campaign. Okay? That's what we're finding. We're also finding that Ilhan Omar was behind some of this fraud, approving some of this fraud. Okay? Yep, Tampon Timmy involved in deceit again, and he's outraged. And so this week, hold on, let me go to my bookmark. Yesterday, the Trump administration announced that it is dismantling the Minnesota-based Somali fraud networks that has looted. I'm reading this right now from the White House Twitter. It says President Trump's administration is dismantling the Minnesota-based Somali fraud networks that looted hundreds of millions of dollars from taxpayer money. Now let me go down to what the Trump administration is about to freeze all federal funding and child care subsidies to Minnesota until an audit is performed, independent audit is performed at these child care centers. That was announced earlier today. Many hours later, it was announced that they're going to freeze child care subsidies in all states, not just Minnesota. ABC News is already also reporting this. Okay. They are calling for, I'm trying to find, here we go. The Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill posted on Twitter today. He said, "We have frozen all child care payments to the state of Minnesota. You have probably read the serious allegations that the state of Minnesota has funneled millions of taxpayer dollars to fraudulent daycares across Minnesota over the past decade. Today, we have taken 3 actions against the blatant fraud that appears to be rampant in Minnesota and across the country. Number 1, he says, I have activated our Defend the Spend system for all ACF payments. Starting today, all ACF payments across America will require a justification and a receipt or photo evidence before we send money to the state." Before I read his other 2 points, it's also worth noting that part of Nick's investigation and other people who've been inspired to investigate further after Nick's expose is these daycare centers anywhere in America. When you open them up, if I understand correctly, part of the regulations, state officials need to come in and verify student enrollment. Students are there. Attendance sheets, receipts for payments, vaccination records update, and apparently that oversight was not done. Nobody did their job. They just gave these Somalians checks and said, "Dude, basically, we're going to turn a blind eye to whatever the fuck you want to do with it. Okay? We're just all going to have our hand in the cookie jar." So the rest of the post from Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill states, number 2, Alex Adams and I have identified the individuals in Nick Shirley's excellent work. I have demanded from Governor Tim Walz a comprehensive audit of these centers. This includes attendance records, licenses, complaints, investigations, and inspections. Number 3, we have launched a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address at childcare.gov. Whether you are a parent, provider, or a member of the general public, we want to hear from you. Now, guess what happened in the mere hours after the Trump administration and Deputy Secretary made that announcement? Well, you won't believe this. These crafty Somalians, one of the Minnesota Somali-run daycares, the manager did a press release today. And you know what this fool said? He said all the documents about their child care and their attendance and their receipts were stolen in a break-in. Somebody broke into the center and stole all the paperwork. He did a press release. I shared the video on my timeline. If anybody's following me on X, just go to my timeline. I've been reposting this bullshit all day, baby, when I tell you. Then they showed a video of the break-in. The break-in, apparently the paperwork was either inside a safe in some cement walls. Child, they broke through the cement wall to get through the paperwork. The angle of the video, the short clip that I saw, it looked like the break-in occurred inside the facility. But again, I only saw a short clip. Here's what's interesting, guys. You guys remember over the summer when Congresswoman Melissa Hortman was killed? Congresswoman Melissa Horton did an interview after being the only Democrat who voted no on health care for illegals. And during that interview with the press, she was in tears. She was visibly upset. You could tell she was scared. She was shaken. She could barely articulate her point. Hours after the interview, she was assassinated. And guess what? Y'all might remember when they found the killer. Remember what he said? He basically said he was an MK Ultra asset who worked with the FBI, and that Tim Walz, he worked for Tim Walz. He basically said Tim Walz hired him to kill this woman. Google it, I'm not making it up. It's not a conspiracy. Well, conspiracy in terms of me just making it up. You can Google it. But it gets better. You know, the subconscious mind is just genius. Because today, the Somali community is up in arms. They're trying to, over there in Minnesota, they're trying their damnedest to make this all go away. They don't like the heat. They don't like the heat that Nick's expose is bringing upon the community. There have been videos. Nick has inspired a lot of citizen journalists to show up to some of these centers that he features, okay, in the documentary. And now they're trying to cover their tracks. Some of the ways they've been covering their tracks, a local politician, a black Democrat local politician, told one media outlet that Nick is fake news, that the only reason why he didn't find children there is because that the most of the centers he went to have been closed. She spoke about one particular center. She said, and I quote, that center has been closed. Meanwhile, somebody went back to interview the manager. He said, no, it's not closed. They can't even get their lives together. He said the reason why Nick didn't find any children there is because Nick came there too early. He said the hours of operation of the daycare is 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, what daycare in America is open till 10 p.m.? None.
One food. And was the guy
parents and mothers who rely on child care historically, y'all know them, have always had to rush to that daycare center by a certain time to pick up their children before the doors close and the lights go out. How often have you heard of a daycare center being open till 10 p.m.? They don't exist. Okay, they don't exist. He claims his daycare center's been open from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Meanwhile, in Nick's documentary, he interviewed some locals at many of these daycare centers, and every one of the locals said they've never seen children that go in or out of these daycare centers. They've never even seen any of these daycare centers' parking lots filled to capacity or halfway filled. But guess what happened as Nick's documentary started to go viral and the mainstream media finally picked up on it as they were being called out on social media for not picking up on it. News crews started showing up and independent reporters started showing up at some of these daycare centers, and guess what they saw? Somali parents suddenly turning up with their children, walking them inside the daycare center, appearing as if they're about to drop the child off, only to walk right back out with the child. So basically giving the impression that they're dropping their kids off. But it gets better. So now they're doing press conferences. Remember, Somali managers of these daycare centers and Somali mothers and the white liberals were out there. They're always white liberal women, of course, in the press conferences, standing behind, rallying behind the Somalis. I want y'all to listen to this, but you got to see the visual. I'm gonna describe the visual before you hear it. In this one clip I'm about to play, it's 25 seconds long. You can see a young, pretty Somali woman reading from her phone a script that's clearly been given to her. A script that's clearly been given to her that she had read before she got in front of the media. Because she starts to say, this is what she says: if child care is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. She then says, I understand fraud is bad, and then catches herself and looks down at her phone at the script and becomes horrified. She physically recoils from her own words, covering her mouth. She looks back at the white liberals surrounding her. She's totally embarrassed. And she says, I can't do this, and walks off, and they all applaud her. Just listen. Just listen. Listen to the trick bag.
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand. Fraud is bad.
Uh-oh. She catches herself. She's looking around. She can barely breathe. She's nearly hyperventilating. She walks off. They tell her it's okay. They applaud. I'm going to post the clip so you can see it, but it gets better. It happens again at the same press conference. Listen to this weirdo white liberal woman. Listen to this.
And I do see some signs over here that say stop fraud. I agree. Stop it. There are payments for these programs that are years long. There is fraud. There is.
Hear that? She says there's fraud and she catches herself. She covers her mouth too. Freudian slip. Takes a pause, looks up at the sky. All the white liberals and Somalis behind her, trying to pep her up. It's okay. It's okay. You can do it. I'm going to post the clip so y'all can look at these people's reaction because listening to it doesn't do it justice. Okay? This is 2025, y'all. This is how we're ending the year. Here's the first clip. Let me grab the link of the white woman. Okay? She's beside herself. But the best one, of course, is the black Somali because she really don't know what to do. She is just too through that she got caught with that Freudian slip. My girl had to walk off the camera. God, dog. I just passed it. Hold on. Where'd it go? Here we go. Copy link. Child, I'm done. I just can't deal. They don't know what to do. Trump is cutting off the money. He said no more money until we have an audit. Thank you, Trump. Audit everybody. Somali, American. They said this daycare fraud is happening across the nation. And not just exclusively to the Somalis. But it gets even better. Washington Democrat Senator Lisa Wellman just pre-filled a bill protecting Somali daycare fraud now that it's being exposed. Sounds like to me she's essentially admitting that the Democrats, not all of course, are in on the fraud. This bill apparently will hide the information about the fraud from being accessible to the public. You can't make this stuff up. The bill in question apparently is called SB 5181. I'm reading this from Twitter if it's real. The bill, it says here, it will expand privacy protections for all licensed child care providers by shielding personal information like home addresses and phone numbers from the public to prevent harassment. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. This person on X writes, but let's cut through the spin. This isn't about safety. It's about hold on. Sorry, I was reading the text. He says, when you carve out exemptions to public records laws, you create blind spots where waste, fraud, and mismanagement thrive. Taxpayers deserve to know who's receiving state licenses and funding, especially after audits revealed $250 million in pandemic child care subsidies were misallocated. Nick exposed that one of the daycare centers that claims to have children but has no children but receives millions of dollars when you call the number to the center, guess where it goes to? Tim Walz's office. Make it make sense. The governor. "2026 is gonna be wild, y'all. Get ready. 2026 is going to be wild. Okay? What else is going down here? Let me see what else we got. We got fake Noah's Ark in Ghana. The Somalis in the daycare fraud in Minnesota. They want Nicki Minaj deported because she supports Trump. What else do we have here? I'm just going down my list of the craziest shit that has just happened just this week alone. Fuck the year, just this week alone.
I just watched the clip that you put in of the Somali girl. I am so curious to see. I wish we could see what was on her phone. Now the clip of the white woman, I'm not so sure about. I didn't really see anything that made me clutch any pearls or gasp or anything like that. But the way the Somali girl reacted to whatever was in her phone. Now that was an intriguing reaction. And it looks like the woman that's standing to her, was it her left, was kind of like encouraging her, like, no, it's okay, go ahead and read it. But she did it. Now I'm really intrigued by that. I wish we could see what was on that phone. Exactly. Like, what were they saying by way of fraud? So, Candace Owens allegedly has a Scientologist backer / handler. I don't know how true this is. His name is John Mappin, Mappin. For the Christmas holiday, he posted a very disturbing video wishing everybody a Merry Christmas while wearing a reptilian mask. Now, apparently this video is from 2023. The mask obviously is fake, it's some sort of toy. But it resurfaced last week during Christmas. With all the conspiracies and outlandish theories and speculation that there are reptilians wearing skin masks and holding high positions in government and authority and et cetera, et cetera. Folks are trying to figure out why he decided to wear a reptilian skin mask on Christmas. I'm more interested in this suggestion that Candace Owens has a Scientologist backer / handler. And it's like, why does Candace Owens need a backer / handler when she has a rich-ass husband and a rich-ass father-in-law? And she herself even said when she was building up her YouTube channel in one of the first episodes that she launched, that her husband put a lot of money into her building up her YouTube channel and her website so that they could have their own servers and their own staff. Somebody on X about a month ago said that they don't like Candace Owens. This person is always giving Candace Owens a hard time. I can't think of the person's name because I don't have it in front of me. I just remember one of their most recent posts in which they stated that they are doing a Candace Owens expose similar to how Candace Owens did on Brigitte Macron, and that this person's expose is going to expose all of Candace's dirty little secrets, if she has any, including that allegedly her husband is gay. Now, I say if she has any because, oh my God, somebody's daughter, oh man, I wish I could think. Somebody in government, guys, forgive me for not having these folks' names, because I hate to say somebody without being specific. I just, I save so much information on my Twitter feed, like bookmarks, but then and there's so many bookmarks, and I have categories for each one.
but there's so many bookmarks in the categories that just trying to go back to find them will take time. Let me go into I'm in my political bookmarks right now to see if I can find this about Candace Owens, but some very prominent politician who was either a governor or a senator, his daughter, some years ago, was trying to do a hit piece on Candace. And her text messages to this particular outlet were released online. And in the text messages, she stated that they've been trying to come out and get dirt on Candace. They've been trying to get anything on Candace or even put something on her to bring her down a peg or two, right? To take her off her high horse. And within the text messages, she said it's hard to go after Candace because they can't find anything on her. Meaning, if they've tried to, hack her computer, you're not going to find new photos, or photos, maybe sex tapes or new photos her and her husband have taken. You're not going to find her porn history. You're not going to find anything to incriminate her. And the text messages basically made that clear. And it mentioned this woman named Klink. What's her last name? Let me see. Something Klink. She's a politician too. What was it? Clack? I'm trying to Google her now to find her name. This black woman there it is. I just had it. Kimberly Klacik. See now, the text messages mentioned Kimberly Klacik's name as being someone that this politician's daughter had reached out to help take down Candace. Because Candace and Kimberly in years past have beefed online. Kimberly is not a fan of Candace. And so the person that reposted these tweets, it was either the person who reposted the tweets or someone in the comments tagged Kimberly because they wanted Kimberly, like, Kimberly, you got something to say about this? What were you trying to do with Candace and Homegirl with the hit piece and trying to take her down? Here it is. I found it. Wait, is this it? Bill Barr's daughter. Project Veritas leaked in 2021 texts from Bill Barr's daughter, Mary Daly, plotting to blackmail Candace Owens. Candace and Kimberly fell out because Candace exposed Kimberly's fraudulent, shady FEC filings and her strip club madam past life. Kimberly filed a 20-minute lawsuit against Candace to silence the truth. I don't know whatever happened to that lawsuit. I think it was dismissed, Owens at the time called it the lawsuit a distraction from FEC fraud. Project Veritas dropped the receipts. In the receipts of the text messages, Daly is just basically raging to quote-unquote blackmail Owens faster for tanking political campaigns. There were no denials, no lawsuits from Barr or Daly. And what does it say here? What does it say here? Let me go. Is this it? Here's what her text say. It says, she wrote, hi. Now, whoever she wrote this to, the name is blacked out. She says, hi, I need you to start working on the Candace Owens case. Armstrong will give you the commands, but we need to focus on black and something. Another name is blacked out. Black and something is redacted first. We need to focus on black and whatever this redacted name first. Work on Armstrong on this. Send some underage girl to secure him. I don't know who Armstrong is. She says, send some underage girl to secure him. He's an easy target. The harder one is Candace because she's very resistant. Gather the group to come up with a good strategy, but don't waste time. A follow-up email, a text message that says, have you been working on the issue with Candace Owens? We need to blackmail her faster. Click, or Classic, whatever her name is, Klack, has been very affected, meaning by Candace's expose on Kimberly's blackmail. Tell Armstrong to send the photographer to follow her and also follow her husband, meaning Candace and her husband. She goes on to state, Candace first. I'm so angry at her that I can't stop thinking of it. If the things she says about Klasick are taken seriously, they will investigate the use of money in the election campaign. We have to bring out material to destroy her reputation before she gets to us. Now, of course, Project Veritas back in November, a representation for Mary Barr stated the texts are fabricated. Meanwhile, Project Veritas noted, and Project Veritas, of course, is the ones who released the text, says here, neither she nor other subjects of our released texts, such as her father, Bill Barr, Armstrong Williams, that's who Armstrong is, Jason Miller, nor Michael Ben Irie have followed through on their legal threats. Fear of discovery? ? So Project Veritas is standing behind the legitimacy of these text messages. Oh, it says here, who won in the Candace Owens lawsuit? Candace Owens won in December 2020. In December 2022, a Tennessee court dismissed Kim's $20 million defamation lawsuit under the anti-SLAPP law, deeming it as meritless. Kimberly was ordered to pay Owens $115,000 in legal fees. So, there we have that. That resurfaced, even though this is from 2022. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, listen, you started reading that because you were asking about whether or not she needs money. Whenever I watch her show, she always asks for... Wait,
you broke up. Repeat that.
I'm just saying that she's always asking for some kind of financial support through her gear, through her swag, and through the show itself. Like I remember, like when I watch it all the way through to where she reads the comments from the viewers, and a lot of times during that session of the show is when they drop monies on her and give her donations, this, that, and the other. And so you can always tell when it's a large donation because, number one, she says, oh, wow, that's a pretty large donation. And then she goes into why she needs that donation. So even though her husband is rich or whatever, she comes from money or, whatever the financial status is, I just feel like being sued by such large entities, you can never have too much money in those types of situations. So I feel like she does need money, and she's definitely making a lot of money on the show, on her show, but not on necessarily one thing or another. I think she's just making a lot of money because of her voice in general.
No, I agree with that 100%. I agree with that. I'm sure her and her husband, despite how much money he may have or they may have, they don't want to go broke, paying for overhead and staff and assistants and all that, because of course that takes money. I mean, that costs a lot of money, and then running her show and running her studio, and then hiring lawyers to fight these lawsuits. I mean, I'm sure she is spending a pretty penny on that Brigitte Macron lawsuit.
And you know something else, and I've always sort of wondered this, because she spends a lot of time, well, not as much anymore, but she would always spend a lot of time kind of referring to her conversations between herself and her lawyer, and she'd always say, oh, he's going to get really mad at me now talking about this, or, so I just feel like on one hand, I just feel like on some level she kind of asked for this. She's kind of pushed the envelope. I I feel like until something like this was going to happen, because I don't think that this is the only lawsuit that she is enthralled in. I believe that she's being sued by somebody else as well. So, and I think that I honestly think that this is a part of keeping her relevant, being involved in lawsuits.
Absolutely. Being involved in lawsuits, high-profile lawsuits specifically, keep people interested, tuning into her channel. I mean, Candace Owens, as much as we, and by we, speaking in general, because I know you and I have an appreciation for some of her content, she has to, in my opinion, be salacious and shock and provoking, kind of like a provocateur, in order to generate the millions of views that she gets within hours of dropping her videos. If she doesn't bring the shock value and the pearl clutching topics, I think she knows folks will lose interest. Candace has built a reputation for being an investigative reporter. She does a deep dive into the research and the topics that she presents, and I think her audience appreciates that.
Hello.
She will go.
Hello.
You know, she's not a surface level reporter like most of the mainstream media.
Hello.
She will ask the tough questions.
She does.
Okay.
Hello.
If she presents